Throughout history, car auctions have seen some jaw-dropping bids as collectors and enthusiasts battle it out for the rarest, most iconic, and historically significant cars ever made. These cars aren't just about speed or luxury. They represent milestones in automotive history, often tied to legendary brands, famous owners, or one-of-a-kind engineering marvels. Let's dive into the most expensive cars ever sold at auction and explore why they commanded such astronomical prices. 1955 Mercedes-Benz 300 Cellulaire Uhlenhaut Coupe. $143 million, 2022. The Mercedes-Benz 300 Cellulaire Uhlenhaut Coupe is the undisputed king of car auctions. In May 2022, one of only two ever made was sold for a record-breaking $143 million, making it the most expensive car ever sold at auction. So, what makes this car so special? First, it was developed by Mercedes' legendary engineer Rudolf Uhlenhaut, who essentially built a street-legal race car based on the dominant W196 Formula One car. It was meant to compete in the 1956 racing season, but Mercedes pulled out of motorsports after the Le Mans disaster in 1955, leaving these cars as exclusive engineering relics. With a 3.0 straight-eight engine, the 300 Cellulaire Uhlenhaut Coupe was one of the fastest road cars of its time, hitting 180 miles per hour, 290 kilometers/h. Add in its stunning gull-wing doors, a lightweight aluminum body, and its deep motorsports heritage, and you have a car that represents the peak of German engineering and exclusivity. Would you rather own one of two ever made or a fleet of modern hypercars for the same price? Drop your thoughts in the comments. 1962 Ferrari 250 GTO. $48.4 million, 2018. When it comes to legendary Ferraris, nothing beats the 1962 Ferrari 250 GTO. At an RM Sotheby's auction in 2018, one of these beauties was sold for $48.4 million, making it the most expensive Ferrari ever sold at auction. Why? Well, only 36 Ferrari 250 GTOs were ever built, and they are regarded as the holy grail of classic cars. These cars were designed for racing, winning multiple Tour de France automobile titles and competing in the 24 Hours of Le Mans. Powered by a 3.0 V12 engine producing 296 horsepower, the 250 GTO was one of the most dominant race cars of its era. Yet Ferrari also made it road legal, allowing wealthy enthusiasts to drive a championship-winning machine on the streets. To make it even more special, this particular 250 GTO was owned by Greg Whitten, a former Microsoft executive, and it had a pristine racing history. That mix of scarcity, performance, and racing pedigree made it worth nearly $50 million. If money wasn't an issue, would you rather buy this classic or a modern Ferrari LaFerrari? Let us know. 1967 Ferrari 275 GTB/4S NART Spider. $27.5 million, 2013. Ferrari strikes again. The 1967 Ferrari 275 GTB/4S NART Spider became one of the most expensive auctioned cars when it sold for $27.5 million in 2013. What makes this car so valuable? First, only 10 units were ever made, making it one of the rarest Ferraris ever built. The car was commissioned by Luigi Chinetti, Ferrari's North American importer, who convinced Enzo Ferrari to produce an open-top version of the 275 GTB/4. The NART Spider, short for North American Racing Team, quickly became one of the most stylish and desirable Ferraris. With a V12 engine producing 300 horsepower, it wasn't just a beauty, it was also a beast on the road. This particular model was owned by Eddie Smith Sr., a Ferrari collector who kept the car in his family for decades before auctioning it off for charity. The fact that Ferrari only made 10, combined with its Hollywood fame, it was featured in The Thomas Crown Affair, starring Steve McQueen, made it worth nearly $30 million. Imagine driving a $27 million convertible. Would you ever take it out? Or would it stay in a climate-controlled garage? 1956 Aston Martin DBR1, $22.5 million, 2017. Not all record-breaking cars come from Ferrari or Mercedes. In 2017, an Aston Martin DBR, one from 1956, was sold for $22.5 million, making it the most expensive British car ever auctioned. This wasn't just any Aston Martin. It was chassis number 1, the first ever DBR1 built. The DBR1 was Aston Martin's answer to Ferrari and Jaguar in endurance racing. It was powered by a 3.0 liters straight-six engine and became one of the most successful race cars of its time, winning the 1959 24 Hours of Le Mans. This specific DBR1 had an incredible racing history, driven by legendary racers like Stirling Moss and competing in events like the Goodwood Revival. With its historical significance, ultra-limited production, and racing heritage, the DBR1 was a dream for collectors, pushing its price past $22 million. Would you rather own this piece of Le Mans history or a brand new Aston Martin Valkyrie? Let us know. 1935 Duesenberg SSJ, $22 million, 2018. Classic American cars rarely make it into the top auction lists, but the 1935 Duesenberg SSJ is no ordinary car. In 2018, it sold for a massive $22 million, making it the most expensive American car ever auctioned. The Duesenberg SSJ was a pre-war luxury car known for its incredible power and exclusivity. Only 2 SSJs were ever built, each packing a supercharged straight-eight engine producing 400 horsepower, an insane amount for the 1930s. This particular SSJ was even more special because it was originally owned by Hollywood legend Gary Cooper. The fact that it had ties to Hollywood's golden era added even more prestige, making it an ultra-coveted collector's item. Duesenberg was known for making some of the most luxurious and powerful cars of its time, and the SSJ remains one of the most important American cars ever built. Would you rather own this pre-war masterpiece or a modern Bugatti? Comment below. 1954 Mercedes-Benz W196, $29.6 million, 2013. In 2013, a 1954 Mercedes-Benz W196 sold for $29.6 million, making it one of the most valuable Formula One cars ever auctioned. This wasn't just any F1 car. It was the very car that legendary driver Juan Manuel Fangio used to dominate the 1954 Grand Prix season. The W196 was Mercedes' return to Formula One racing after World War II, and it revolutionized the sport. It featured a fuel-injected 2.5 liters straight-eight engine, a lightweight aluminum body, and cutting-edge aerodynamics. This specific W196 won races at Nürburgring and Hockenheim, securing Fangio's second F1 World Championship. Unlike most vintage F1 cars that end up in museums, this W196 was still in running condition, making it even more desirable. Formula One cars rarely sell at auction, especially those with such an incredible pedigree, which is why collectors were willing to bid nearly $30 million to own a true piece of motorsport history. Would you rather own this legendary race car or a modern Mercedes-AMG 1 hypercar? Let us know. 1937 Bugatti Type 57 SC Atlantic, estimated over $40 million, private sale. Although it was sold in a private transaction, the 1937 Bugatti Type 57 SC Atlantic is believed to have changed hands for over $40 million, making it one of the most valuable pre-war cars in existence. The Type 57 SC Atlantic is often considered the most beautiful car ever made, featuring a stunning Art Deco design an ultra-lightweight magnesium alloy body, and a powerful supercharged engine. Only 4 were ever built, and just 3 remain today. This particular car, chassis number 57,591, was originally owned by famed car collector Dr. Peter Williamson. It won multiple concours d'elegance competitions before being acquired by the Mullen Automotive Museum. The exact sale price remains undisclosed, but experts estimate it was well over $40 million, making it one of the most valuable cars of all time. If you could own one ultra-rare pre-war classic, would it be this Bugatti Atlantic or a Duesenberg Model J? Let us know in the comments. 1957 Ferrari 335S Spider Scaglietti, $35.7 million, 2016. At an art curial auction in 2016, a 1957 Ferrari 335S Spider Scaglietti fetched an eye-watering $35.7 million, becoming one of the most expensive Ferraris ever sold. What makes this Ferrari so valuable? First, it was one of only 4 ever built, and it had an incredible racing history. This specific car competed in some of the world's greatest endurance races, including Le Mans and the Mille Miglia, and it was driven by legendary racers like Mike Hawthorne and Wolfgang von Trips. Powered by a 4.0-liter V12 engine, the 335S was one of the fastest race cars of the 1950s, capable of hitting over 190 miles per hour. Insane for its time. Not only was it an engineering masterpiece, but it was also a Ferrari built for glory, making it highly desirable among collectors. Add in its rarity, racing legacy, and stunning design by Scaglietti, and it's no surprise that someone paid nearly $36 million for this beauty. Would you rather own this Ferrari 335S or a modern Ferrari SF90 Stradale? Let's hear your pick. 1962 Aston Martin DB4 GT Zagato, $15.7 million, 2018. When people think of Aston Martin, the DB5 from James Bond usually comes to mind. But in 2018, a 1962 Aston Martin DB4 GT Zagato stole the spotlight when it sold for $15.7 million, making it one of the most expensive Aston Martins ever. The DB4 GT Zagato was an ultra-rare, hand-built version of the DB4 GT, designed by the legendary Italian coach builder Zagato. Only 19 units were ever produced, making it one of the most exclusive British sports cars ever made. Under the hood, it packed a 3.7-liter inline-6 engine producing 314 horsepower, making it one of the fastest road cars of its era. The car's lightweight aluminum body, aerodynamic design, and track-ready performance made it a serious rival to Ferrari's 250 GTO. This particular DB4 GT Zagato was sold by Arm Sotheby's, and its rarity, stunning Italian craftsmanship, and Aston Martin's legendary reputation pushed its price past $15 million. If you had the chance, would you take this classic Aston Martin for a spin? Or do you prefer modern British icons like the McLaren P1? Let's discuss. 1939 Alfa Romeo 8C 2900B Touring Berlinetta, $19.8 million, 2016. The Alfa Romeo 8C 2900B Touring Berlinetta from 1939 might not be as well known as a Ferrari or Bugatti, but when it sold for $19.8 million in 2016, it became one of the most expensive pre-war cars ever auctioned. What makes this Alfa Romeo so special? First, the 8C 2900B was one of the fastest cars of the 1930s, built using Grand Prix racing technology. Its 2.9-liter straight-8 engine and twin superchargers made it a powerhouse, capable of rivaling the Bugatti Type 57 SC Atlantic. This particular touring Berlinetta was considered the most beautiful Alfa Romeo ever built, with an elegant, streamlined body by Carrozzeria Touring. It was one of only 5 ever produced, making it a true collector's dream. Its rarity, stunning coachwork, and advanced engineering for its time made it one of the most valuable vintage cars ever auctioned. Would you take this $19.8 million Alfa Romeo for a drive, or is it too priceless to risk? Let us know your thoughts. Which one blew your mind? These record-breaking cars show that for collectors, cars aren't just vehicles. They are rolling pieces of history. Whether it's a race-winning Ferrari, a one-of-a-kind Mercedes, or an ultra-rare Aston Martin, these machines are priceless to those who appreciate their heritage. Now, it's your turn to weigh in. Which of these multi-million-dollar classics would you love to drive? And if you could own just one, would you go for a race-winning Ferrari, a historic Mercedes, or a one-of-a-kind Bugatti? Let's hear your dream pick in the comments.